the active badge location system was published right at the beginning of 1992, and it built on work which started in 86, 87, 88. So I had the pleasure of running a thing called the Alberti Research Laboratory in Cambridge, which is where this work was done, but it was also done, I think, in the laboratory in Cambridge. He just has Roy, and you heard his excuse, he has to work very hard for Google, which I think is pretty pathetic excuse. Roy's very nice. Veronica Balkan and John Gibbons, they worked in the Alberti Research Lab in California, and we tried to, and succeeded in getting the two labs to work in a happy fashion together by doing joint work on this project. That's next on this paper. So, in those days, in the late 80s, we were working on multimedia on networks. That was the bulk of the work done at the laboratory. So we had a network, we were attaching all sorts of things to it, file servers, audio, video streaming, all that stuff, telephony to some extent, and so on and so forth. Good stuff. And as a slight sideways project, we started working on sensing and location. I'm not absolutely sure why, but here are some reasons why this happened. First of all, the laboratory had moved from quite a small set of premises where we could all see each other, 3 or 4 rooms, to a rather large building which we had not, we didn't fill really well. So from knowing where everybody was, we went to a building where you couldn't find anybody. So some right start, I'm not sure what this was said, when this came about saying, why don't we design a system which finds everybody? Because it's a pain in the arse thing around the building. Another component at that time was GPS. The military GPS just started being available to civilians in the late 80s. We bought some units, I played with it quite a bit, rather like that. We thought, let's do something indoors, the location. So those are the sort of ideas, the context that might have produced it. And as with the other speakers, just take yourself back. It was a long time ago, so we were really jinking and being counter the trend. So it was before smartphones, before all those things I showed. So one of the morals of the story, look for nooks and crannies, not always with just the obvious of yesterday's family. Look for trouble somewhere, but just somewhere in the space station. And so Roy was actually working mainly on that multimedia and a bigger team, and this was kind of an additional project, which we kind of worried about a lot. Should we be doing this and so on and so forth, but we persisted and so on. So the basic idea was to design an active badge which would find people, and of course, to find people in this building that we occupied, which was on 3 floors, we were on 20 rooms per floor, and so we designed this technology, which was a badge you wore. It was an active badge, it had a battery, you wore it a little bit like a medal, and then there were receivers, which you can see there, right, which would receive the signal. The technology we used was infrared. Infrared does not go through walls, so this was badge which transmitted ping. The signal bounced a few times, sometimes direct line with the receiver in the room, and so you got location to that room, and it didn't go through walls, so you didn't get a false positive. You didn't have to sort anything out, because you got the other side, you push it back, or you got nothing, okay, but no false positive. So we're very perfect technology for scale location. Because this was an industrial lab, we had little money, and we would take some care, and with pride in this, to do some proper engineering, because we realized people would have to wear it, choose to wear it. It had to be aesthetically not a brick, but to have curly edges, and it had to be functional. So the plastic and all that took some time to design. We spent some time doing that care for the badge, and it turns out that was a good idea. The badge had a single button you could press, so you could go like that, and everything else was automatic. So just a little bit about the technology. Once again, that's just sort of 1989, 1990. Basically what we did is we took the TV home controller, which you could change channels with, we stripped out everything from that, and stuck something that sent your number through that infrared, put it in a nice plastic container, took great care about the low energy, low power demands of this thing. And then the receiving end, which would normally be in a TV, we put in a box and put that on the network. So this is just a description of the picture of the transmission line, the badge. One of the key engineering things we had to get right was the battery had to last a year or two. So it wasn't something you would charge. So the low power, this is transmitted every 15 seconds, the low power running, so it had to be very, very low power. The buttons, so that would cause the transmission to occur right there and then. And then we had to take some care with the IR transmitters so that it did actually work most of the time. We were into networks big time, so doing an Ethernet-based network system to scale from all the rest of it was in our class, so that's what we did. So the receivers picked this signal up, and Julie reported it up the network to the generalized application interface, which you could then write in the application using that information in combination with anything else on that system. So it kind of became a productivity unit. We deployed it throughout our building. We actually, I don't think this would happen so easily these days, but we deployed it for free as a gift to the university department, filled that building with this stuff, and we started playing. And many applications eventually came along. So we had a system which told you if you chose to wear a badge, and you just stuck the badge on some equipment, where you were, where things were, how they were moving, and applications around that. So the visit up here is one of the screens that we had. It gives names of people. It gives a physical location describing the route and the telephone extension number. And then the probability, it's called probability. So this transmitted every 15 minutes or seconds or so, randomized, so although outside. So if you had a clash, you could clash next time. That was modulated by a light-dependent resistor, so you'd have to have the same light holding on it in order to have the same time interval, and also have the advantage you could put it face down and slow it right down, so it essentially switched it off. And if, so the settings were up at 15 seconds, and you got 4 or 5 on the trot, you got 100% on the screen, and you got 40% and 60%, that just gave a little feeling for the quality of the sighting in the same physical point. So when you place 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%. And we took great care to make that available on all machines, on all architectures, to everyone. And then it says that it was a day of the week, the last slide you can show the last Tuesday, last Friday, and you could do manual messages. So that's just one of the applications that says 1st of January 1990. I don't think that's quite right, but a similar slide which says 1991. And you could go actually across to the different domain. The other entity was the university where it was also deployed. So, there it was. It was amazing. So first of all, we decided we'd give it a go for 2 weeks, and if we didn't like it, we'd put it in the bin. But since we had designed it, we loved it. So after 2 weeks, we loved it, so we carried on. Yeah. So that's how it should go. In the university, or if you need a department there at that time, worry about your badge. So just by saying, I like it, give it a whirl. That's how it happened. So most people ended up wearing the badge most of the time. And then an amazing set of applications came along. Everything from knowing what the nearest extension is, because before mobile telephony, so you call the number that the person was close to, for example, not the default number. You could do things like go print and then walk up to the printer and knew where you had walked, so that's where the group printed. So context aware in different directions. And actually we lived this system for 12 years, and I'm completely addicted to it. It was a benign environment because we had designed it, so we loved it. I know that to popularize it, we sold it to Xerox, and unfortunately Roy left with the system. We sold it to a number of other companies. We gave it to many universities because it was all sort of, slightly crazy world of these big brother people. And so we're trying to get a feel, and also trying to get it used. And we were fortunate enough to write the paper, and then accompanying paper on the applications, which fortunately has done quite well. Some people like it, some people find it very, very controversial. This is San Jose Mercury News, so that's what some people in the valley said. We don't want stinky badges. And here are some other things. Already dream come true. The badge that pinpoints you. Wherever you go, they will follow. And I tell you, the number of conferences, not so much engineering, but other conferences where I appeared, and I was completely hammered. This is terrible. The end of the world is coming. You're evil. You have no morals. Every kind of thing. Sociologists say, you'll never catch on. We know. This location stuff, forget. No good at all. So you're evil. You'll never catch on. You know, so on and on and on. So one reflects on that, and actually this happens all the time. It's almost a good guide to what will be actually totally addictive, because it's such powerful technology. Yes, you can think of the evil on one hand, but actually the same power, I'm sure you'd agree, is frequently, probably all the time, used for the positive. And the same was true of many other things. In advance at Facebook, everybody's going to publish everything about themselves in the billions. You would say, no, that's impossible. Twitter, I cut my toenails, becomes popular. So it's almost a lesson. Part of the jinking, you've got to be professional, you've got to do it right, so that you're transparent. It's not what you've done from an engineering point of view, that controls you, don't want to adapt things. But bucking the trend and doing precisely that everybody says is problematic has a chance of great success for the very reason that they say problematic. So let me finish off. Thank you. By saying there's a lot of stuff that's followed all these context location aware applications. Just take location aware out of your phone, out of your mobile. I think the case is made. And just as a very final thing, if I may just mention the company I started, because there's one particular area where the successor of this is used in a big scale, and that's in car manufacturing. So the tag that's used by a company called UbiSense to tag cars and tools on major car production lines, where you know where the tool is, where you know the car is precisely, it's actually in real time in 3D, but essentially this is updated with more precision. Helps car manufacturing to be smarter. You know where your tools are, you can control the tools,